Welcome back to Wild Scientist. Our podcast will begin in a middle school bathroom.
LOL, can you believe what Stacy said yesterday in the group chat?
I know, right? She's like totally crazy.
Yeah, she's like such a baboon.
BTW, speaking of baboons, I heard that old monkey or whatever named Lucy is more related to modern humans than to apes.
OMG, I saw that too. Was it that post on Instagram?
Yeah, isn't it like so bizarre? Scientists thought she was a monkey or something, but I guess she's a total human.
Oh my god, what if we're related? Like, she could be my ancient grandma.
Well, actually, Lucy is an Australopithecus afarensis, a transitional species to modern humans.
Who what now?
An Australopithecus afarensis, one of our bipedal ancestors. They are definitely not modern monkeys or your ancient grandmother.
And Lucy is actually more closely related to extinct apes than she is to us.
Well, how do you know that? Tell us everything.
There's this amazing thing called peer-reviewed articles. They can be accessed through your school's online database or even Google Scholar.
We used a research article published by Philip Guns and corresponding authors. His article spoke about the brain organization of Australopithecus afarensis and whether or not it was more similar to apes or human brains.
And guess who it turned out to be most similar to?
Was it apes?
You guessed it. Because of the volume and organization of Lucy's and other Australopithecus afarensis crania, there is evidence that they are more similar to Miocene apes.
Allow us to tell you more in-depth information about this study.
The paleoanthropologists had 8 fossils to work with, but right now we're only mentioning a few, the 2 infant crania and the 1 adult crania. They examined the sulcal impressions of said crania.
In case you didn't know, sulcal impressions are grooves in the brain that create that folded appearance that we all know.
Thank you. And they found that the fossils have ape-like brain organizations and their brains had no signs of reorganization.
As you kids say, I am much too smooth-brained for this.
To add on to that, they studied the internal skull casts, also known as endocasts, of one of the infants. They found that the lunate sulcus, a larger depression in the brain, is actually more ape-like as well. This means that it was too large for the fossil to be more related to humans than chimps. Also meaning that, no, Lucy is not more human than she is ape.
They were able to estimate the brain sizes of some of the fossils too. The infants fell in the range of 275 milliliters and 317 milliliters, while the adults had an average of 445 milliliters. Opposite of the lunate sulcus, these brain sizes are a bit too small to be as human as you claim.
However, it's important to note that the researchers may have proven Australopithecus afarensis to be more ape-like. The researchers pointed out some qualities that suggest a trajectory towards human-like evolution. Brain growth for Australopithecus afarensis was prolonged, like in modern-day humans and apes, which means that their young developed at a slower rate. This may have been one of the earliest stepping stones for future hominin childhood development.
Oh no, my TI-84 calculator.
So how did they find out all this stuff anyway?
Yeah, I don't believe anything without reliable evidence.
Good thing the authors included a section about their methods.
But you can hear about that right after a word from our sponsor.
Milner Library, located in the heart of campus, is an active partner in the teaching, learning, and research activities of Illinois State University.
Discover, learn, and see real-time results of brain growth.
Just like the Australopithecines.
Hey, doesn't Milner Library have peer-reviewed articles?
Yes, and with only just a few clicks for anyone who is a student, alum, or staff at Illinois State University.
Guys, it really works. We would never advertise something we don't actually use.
So use Milner Library today. It could save your grades. Milner Library is here to help.
All of these discoveries are so interesting, but our 2 students can't be the only ones wondering. How was this research conducted?
Well, let's begin with the cranial examinations of the specimens. The paleoanthropologists spent much time creating both conventional and synchrotron CT scans of the fossils to create virtual replicas.
Creating what?
Oh, my bad. A CT scan refers to a type of X-ray process that shows details of the subject being scanned. A synchrotron CT scan is somewhat different. A synchrotron machine produces much more powerful X-rays, which allows researchers to see molecular level detail of the scanned subject.
Oh, wow.
After that, they were able to reconstruct the missing or damaged parts of the skeleton with the research analysis programs Aviso, VG Studio Max, and Geomagic.
That is so cool. So innovative.
Yeah, and what's crazy is that this is one of the first research teams to digitally reconstruct these fossils. They did this through mirror imaging and minor repositioning.
So is that how we know exactly what their brains looked like?
Well, not exactly what they looked like. This just helps researchers give their best assumption of how they looked.
So then how did they find out the brain size or whatever?
You would be referring to the endocranial volume, which they determined with the assistance of research analysis software programs, Aviso, EdgeWarp 3D, and Mathematica.
They also used micro-CT scanning in order to develop dental information. This is just a smaller scale CT scan. This created 2D slices of the teeth. The Kai-Kendall approach was redesigned in order to work better for their research.
This was used on the lower teeth and the upper teeth of the fossils, which determined the age of death for the infant fossils.
Wow, that's such a long process.
And a lot of words.
But it's really cool.
Sorry to have kept you two for so long.
That's okay. We have really, really long passing periods, remember?
Yeah, see you later. Thanks for teaching us all about this.
I'm totally posting about this.
Thank you for joining us today. Join us next time for another informative podcast on Wild Scientist.
And hopefully it won't be in the bathroom again.